Okay, so outside stimuli. Yeah, it might be a thing, or it might be a few things. So something other than a person. How are you training yourself to respond? Because oftentimes we need to go right back to what I just spoke on, pausing for the cause. Give it a few seconds, give it a few minutes, you know? Um, and what about internal stimuli? What about those internal things, the internal thoughts that we have? Because we know sometimes our thoughts can be so wrong, so far from what the truth is, simply because of doors that we have open, that we are allowing, dead food to come in and really finagle with our minds. We're allowing him to come in and finagle with our minds because when we know the truth, that's why, I know now for sure, pray without ceasing, of course, but staying in the word, reading something, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we have to do that because it helps our mind to go right back to what the truth is. And when we begin to really hear the voice of God speaking and it's aligning with the word that we're reading, it's like you have a way of being able to push that mess out, and sometimes it's not immediate. We're human, we have our moments, but we can always end up going back to that place where we can push that mess out and begin to speak like, my daddy said, it's on the head, not the tail. I will succeed in everything that I do. Everything, but for real, I'm being silly right now, but I'm being for real too. We can begin to speak those things. And the mental, what kinds of thoughts? There we go to our thoughts. What kinds of thoughts are you entertaining? What kind of thoughts are you entertaining? And we know sometimes the people that we are around can really contribute to the thoughts that we begin to entertain. I think it's in Proverbs. It might be in Psalms, but I think it's in Proverbs. I believe it is Proverbs, talking about the company that you keep, being an influence on you, and it's the truth. And sometimes we feel like we may be the ones to influence our company, and sometimes we're not in that position to be able to influence like that yet. Not to say that we won't get there, but if we are always around a person, or we are always around people who like to deal with people in a deceptive manner, who like to do whorish things or whatever the case may be, in some way, form, or fashion, it's going to end up influencing us. And it may not be the actual actions that we do, but it could be the thoughts that we are entertaining. And sometimes if you entertain those thoughts for so long, you're going to end up acting on what you're thinking. As a man thinketh, so is he. Okay, on to the physical. Physical. What physical activities are you engaged in? And are you engaged in these physical activities consistently? Because it's the consistency that really begins to form the habit. And that's a good habit. I know for me, and I'll make a joke about this, and I talk about it, my bodybuilding situation when I first started, and I had to get the plan. I got the plan, and I was in there by myself. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes my coach, the person who was my coach, and I love him dearly, and I will forever be grateful. He was my first coach, and he was detailed with what he gave me, and so he was detailed to the point of what a coach is. You know what I'm saying? So certain things I still had to look up because I was like, what is this exercise right here? And I remember being in there like the first time trying to get through a workout, and I walked out. Well, walk it out, and I walked it out. And and I got to thinking like, Brenda, it ain't gonna happen if you don't do it. you're going to have to go back and do it. So certain things that I didn't know, I looked up. I could have asked him. I could have went to him and asked him, but it's like, we got Google. So it's like, look up what the exercise is and see what it is and just do it. And so on the days that he was in there, like we went in, but he was watching me, and he had so much faith in me and my ability that he allowed me to have that space. He allowed me to have that space, and I grew from that. And that's why I say I'm forever grateful. And, certain things in that realm you need to be able to do by yourself so that you can grow in that aspect. And notice I said that realm. Everything ain't meant for you to do by yourself and try to learn by yourself. Business and stuff, sometimes you bless it, God. I'm not going to go there right now. We're going to stick to the physical. Okay. Are these activities contributing to improving your health or hindering your progress? Are the physical activities that you are doing and engaging in contributing to the progress of your health, or are they hindering the progress of it? Something as simple as walking can begin to have such beautiful, oh, bless it, God. I'm sorry. You can begin to have such a beautiful outcome and have results, such awesome results from walking. Starting off walking, going into power walking, and then going into run walking, which can turn into just running. There's a space for you to make those gradual changes and improvements as you see and feel your health changing. The way that you breathe is a good way to be able to tell the difference as well in the way that you breathe. Yeah, because your breathing becomes easier. It does, especially the more that you get and stay active. And spiritually, what are you doing daily to build your spiritual muscles? What are you doing daily to build your spiritual muscles? And of course, yes, we wake up every day, I hope, and say thank you to God for definitely waking us up and keeping us safe and covered, through the night. But what are you doing after that? Are you reading something? Are you meditating on a verse? Are you having conversation throughout the day with God? Are you listening to any worship music at any point in time? I'm not trying to say like all day, every day, but some parts of the day, just carving out that time to have that space with him. Just like in a relationship, when you're in a relationship, you carve out time to talk to somebody. You carve out time to spend time with someone in one way or another. That shows that you're concerned, right? It shows your interest. It shows your love. It shows your compassion, your interest in the relationship, in building it, right? So same thing with him. What are you doing to build your spiritual muscle? What are you doing? Do you have spiritual mentors? Can you reach out to them? Can you talk to them? Do you talk to them? Do they talk to you? Do they hold you accountable? Are you open to that? Who are your spiritual mentors? Are they capable of mentoring you spiritually? You have to ask yourself all of these. And these are all tools to help build strength in each quadrant of fitness. So these are some of the tools that are used. These are some of the things that we hone in on. These are some of the things that we begin to speak about and dissect. And it gets real fun when you're talking about the physical stuff, but it gets very interesting when you're talking about the other things. And it's a great dialogue that we can begin to have with each other and to begin to build each other up and hold each other accountable, but also just be that listening ear and be that compassionate heart for each other. Yeah. So I said I was going to come back with part 2, but I see part 2 was turned to part 3 because I got a little bit long-winded, but I had a lot that I wanted to share. So, yeah. But we're going to touch on the spiritual tools at another time, all right? But I had to come back and share that, so I pray that you guys have an awesome rest of your evening. And I'll catch you in the next one, all right? Peace. Yes.